as you can see, we are in Evergreen Harbor today. We are working on the lot called Canal Corner, and if I sound like I just woke up, it's because I did. So it was either me sounding halfway to Batman or no voiceover, and so I chose this. So yeah, if I sound rough, it's because I had a bit of a rough night. So, but we still made it, and yeah, I've been building a lot in Evergreen Harbor. I feel like I mentioned that in my last video, but yeah, I just needed a break from the worlds that I was building in. I think I was just like building in Newcrest and Willow Creek a little bit too often, and I think it was kind of zapping my creativity, and I was just feeling less inspired. And yeah, so now that I've moved to a world that I barely ever use, I feel like my creativity just kind of jumped out, and I've been feeling a lot more motivated to build. I've actually like almost finished every lot in Evergreen Harbor, which was kind of purposeful because as I started like building houses and stuff like that, and like a lot of community lots, honestly, I've been building a lot of community lots. But yeah, as I've been doing that, I've just been feeling more like inspired by like the stories of like Sims that would live here. And yeah, that's kind of just what I've been doing recently. Unfortunately, for some reason, I get like weirdly camera shy, I feel like, when I'm recording a build, which sounds stupid because obviously no one's watching, but I guess it's like the psychological, yeah, it's like the fact that I know someone's gonna end up watching it, that I feel like this weird pressure when I'm recording building. And so a lot of the lots and stuff that I built, especially like the community ones, I actually built off camera. So I probably will do like a tour video of those, which is like just when I take you guys and basically just literally just tour the build with you. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I've done a couple of those videos on the channel. I don't know if you guys prefer that. Like, do you guys not like seeing the tour videos where I show you like a build that I've already done? Let me know how you feel about that, because I do find it sometimes easier to film those rather than like doing a speed build. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to do speed builds. I will always like have speed builds on this channel. But I just find like, especially with community lots for some reason, I think it's just because it takes me so long, to be honest. Like community lots, especially like the ones that I did here in Evergreen Harbor, took me like a couple days. And so I feel like not only would they be horrendously long for a speed build, it's just honestly easier to film. So, but I don't know if you guys actually prefer those kind of like tour videos or not, because I do still like include the download and everything. So you guys would still get the download. It just wouldn't be a speed build. I'd just be showing you like what I built, and then you would have the download after, like in the description of that video. But yeah, let me know how you feel about that, because I don't think I've ever asked, and I do sometimes find them easier to film, but I would still do speed builds and stuff like that too. Anyways, I didn't really talk that much about what I was doing with this particular lot. When I first was like building it, I knew I wanted it to be like kind of a little bit grungy, just a little bit run down, because I think that Evergreen Harbor has that kind of vibe anyways, because it came with eco lifestyle. And so it's kind of like a place that's very industrialized, and there's like a lot of trash everywhere, and it's got kind of like sleepy town kind of vibes, which I liked. I guess I haven't really noticed how Evergreen Harbor felt as like a town because I just never used it that much. When I first got eco lifestyle, I honestly got the pack because I liked the items that came with it and the like wood texture walls and stuff. You know what I'm talking about, like those specific wood texture walls that we got in this pack. So that's initially why I actually got this EP. And so even when I first got it, I didn't do the gameplay because the gameplay just wasn't that interesting to me. But now that I've built here, I might actually kind of delve into it. But yeah, so I wanted the vibes of this build to go hand in hand with the vibes of Evergreen Harbor, and that like it's kind of run down a little bit and rough around the edges, but it still feels like, you know, homey and comfortable. So that was the kind of vibe that I was going for, and I think I managed to do it. You will see me, by the way, I'm doing like this like side yard area kind of thing. I pull out a bunch of like toys because I knew that I wanted some kind of like child to live in this house. It ends up being, I think, an infant. But I did pull out like a bunch of these toys because I saw them in the menu and I was trying to get like other clutter and stuff like that. And so I pulled them out because I thought they were cute. And then I'm pretty sure I left them here. So if you download this house, you're just gonna have these random toys just on the lawn outside, like in the back here, or I guess the side yard here. So feel free to like delete those or like put them in the house if you want, because I think I forgot to like move them or like delete them after because I got distracted with the interior. So that's my bad. But I mean, it's just a couple toys on the lawn. Maybe they were playing with the kid and, you know, they like left them out here. I don't know. But yeah, that is something that I wanted to mention because I realized when I was like editing the video down that they were there and I was like, oh, I never removed those. So that's my bad. But yeah, I decided as I was building who's gonna live here, and even when I was just doing the outside here, I knew that I wanted like a kid to live here, but I didn't know like what the dynamic was gonna be or like who was gonna live there. But it ended up being a kind of younger couple and their infant baby. So that's who lives in this house. I think that the couple's like, I think maybe, I mean, honestly, I literally uninstalled the For Rent pack because of how buggy it is, but if you still play with it or if you just want to imagine, I think that the couple that lives here probably rents this house, and it's like the first like full house that they've rented, and then they got pregnant, so now they have their infant baby with them, and yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I was going for. I think that they work, well, one of them probably works like a regular job, so like manual labor or something like that, just like your run-of-the-mill thing, like maybe construction or something like that, I think would fit with like the vibe of Evergreen Harbor. I know that there's like career mods and stuff that I think come with like an actual construction career instead of manual labor, because we do have that like job title in the base game, but as for like an actual construction job, I think that comes with like Midnight Tech's careers. They're like a CC like mod creator and they make a lot of like career focused mods, so I'm pretty sure Midnight Tech has that if you wanted to do that. But yeah, I think one of them works in some kind of like labor construction job, and then the other one you'll see like when I do the kind of living room area that I put in kind of like a messy office space, but it's supposed to be for a sim who does like freelance artist kind of stuff, so they're like a freelance artist, so they have like paintings and a sketch pad and all their stuff there, and I think that that's what they do, and they probably do it from home. So yeah, one of them works from home as a freelance artist, and then the other one I think just has like a regular kind of construction type job, and that's what I was kind of picturing for them. And then the infants here, and they're an infant, so they don't have a job. But yeah, when I was doing this front area, I didn't know if I wanted to do like, I was kind of struggle excuse me, I was kind of struggle with what I want to do at the front of a house, like whether I want to put the kitchen there or the living room or the dining room, because you know houses are laid out different ways. But I know I've been to like houses that have each of those kinds of rooms when you walk in the front, so I didn't know what I wanted to do here. But I ended up doing the kitchen just because I felt like it fit more with how I wanted to use the space. And so we have like a kitchen slash dining room kind of here at the front, and I think it looks weird kind of at first, but as I clutter it up and you know, make some changes here and there with like the layout of the stairs and everything, because I kind of like extend it a bit so it looks more like a kitchen rather than a kitchenette kind of thing. Yeah, I think it ends up working out, so that's good. And I re-downloaded those countertops from it's from like the City Living pack, but Zinda did a like recolor of them, so there's like a whole bunch of swatches that I really like on them, and they still look like they're a little bit, well, kind of a lot worn down, which is the vibe that I was going for. I think that they're like trying to fix up a couple things as they're here, especially because they have like the new baby and everything. And he's kind of like a handyman, so because he works in construction, so I thought that maybe like he put in the new cabinets that are in there, like the counters haven't been done, but the cabinets he put in, and they're gonna like redo some of the walls and floors and stuff, but it's just kind of like a work in progress type thing. And yeah, that was the kind of idea that I had for this area. But I like the way that this I like the way the build in general turned out, but I like the way that the like general living space down here turned out. Because I was gonna go for like very neutral vibes when I first came in here, and it still is neutral, but there's a lot of like color, especially when we get to the living room area, because then it was like when I was doing the living room that I decided that the sim that was going to be living here was also going to work as a freelance artist. So when I was doing the office space, I kind of like incorporated a bit more color and whimsy and like the decor and like things like that. So yeah, I like the way that it turned out down here. I do a lot of like changes with this front area because like I said, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I thought that the closet that I put near the front door, I think it was just visually a little distracting because there's the door and then the window, and I just didn't like the way it looked, so I do end up taking the closet door out, and I think I just put like hanging coats and stuff like that there, or keys or something. I don't know. I put something like on the wall basically because I just thought it looked a lot better. But yeah, that is, I don't really have that much else to say about this house. It's pretty run-of-the-mill. And yeah, I did end up making like sims because I've just been like building in Evergreen Harbor because like I said, I've had more like, I don't know, I've just been more creative, I guess, as I've been building in Evergreen Harbor. So I've been like building things and then making sims for like who lives in each place. And like I showed you in my last video, there's like a single dad house with his daughter, so I made those sims, and then I made a family for that house that I showed in that video, the second one, and then I also made the sims for this house too. And yeah, they ended up, I like played in here because I was trying to play test stuff, and they kind of like low-key were not vibing with each other. I don't know if it's like incompatible traits or something, but like the couple wasn't really like vibing with each other that much. Like they're kind of miserable, but I didn't think that's how it was for the sims in this house, so I don't know, maybe I'll make different sims or change out traits or something because they just seem kind of like sad together. But anyways, I think I also actually, now that I think about it, I think I put because I remember when I made that household, they have a dog, so I think I also put stuff for a dog in this house. So it's the couple, their baby, and then a dog. Yeah, I forgot about him, sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, I've been doing a lot of community lots in Evergreen Harbor. So so far I've done the two houses that I showed you in the last video, and then I did a gas station / diner. And you can kind of see it in the background in the beginning of when I'm building this house because it's like right across the street behind this house. But I did a gas station and a diner, which I really like the way that turned out. So maybe I'll do like a tour video on that, and I can show you guys that and put it up for download. And then the other day I worked on, because I wanted like, you know, stuff to do here. It does seem like a pretty like sleepy kind of town, but I still wanted there to be some kind of like entertainment for the people that live here. And in my head, I feel like Evergreen Harbor, Copperdale, and Granite Falls, I feel like are very close to each other. So when I do those worlds, I feel like they'll have a similar vibe, because I think they're like a couple, like maybe 20-minute drive away from here and that kind of thing. Like maybe Granite Falls is a little bit farther, but I think Copperdale is pretty close to here. So yeah, in my brain, that's how the map works. So yeah, I think that when I do those worlds, there's going to be a lot of like crossover. I might have like people that have businesses in Evergreen Harbor, just because there's not a lot of lots in this world, that like some of the people that own like the diner or the gas station or the other like the bar and stuff like that, I think the owners will probably live in Granite Falls or in Copperdale, just because I didn't furnish like the apartments and stuff the way I think the people who would own those places would like style their house. So yeah, I'll probably do that. But yeah, I did the gas station and diner, and then I did the like caboose bar, I think it's called. It's like the bar in Evergreen Harbor, that's where the train tracks used to be. Yeah, I kept the layout of it, but I did like renovate the inside because it was kind of empty, honestly. I don't know why it felt so empty. But yeah, I renovate the inside of that build. I like the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty good. And the rest of it is, sorry, I'm like adjusting something in my editing settings, so that's why I got distracted for a second. But yeah, yeah, so I did the bar, I redid the floors, I think, and the ceiling, and the entire layout's different. There used to be like a bathroom upstairs of that bar, but I took the upstairs out, so now it's just like one floor. I don't know, when I'm playing on like community lots, especially like entertainment kind of lots or like bars and stuff like that, I don't like when the bathrooms are like on the second floor. I find that happens a lot in EA builds. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why it bothers me, but when I'm like in gameplay, I don't like that they have to go to a different floor to go to the bathroom. So I changed it. And a lot of the builds that I did, I think pretty much all of them all have bathrooms on the main floor. But yeah, so I did that. I redid the bar. There's like a stage. We still don't have bands, unfortunately, but if we did, I would think that there's live music there, like weekly, that like musicians come and play in, and like local musicians and like artists and stuff. So that was the kind of vibe that I want for that. And there's also like a karaoke machine, so if you guys like wanted to take your Sims to the bar, you could have like a couple drinks and get some food and then go and do some karaoke. And yeah, it's just like a fun place for them to hang out. And then I also wanted a community lot for like families and stuff like that. So I end up building a bowling alley. It's like a bowling alley / arcade. Because I used to have a build like that. I think I mentioned this in like 2 videos ago when I was doing that one house. But with my legacy gameplay, I had like the cousins and the current like household I was playing all go to like arcades together when they're like teenagers and kids, and it was really cute. And so I wanted to recreate that vibe by having a bowling alley / arcade. So that's what I built on one of the lots in Evergreen Harbor. Also, the lot that I used for that bowling alley and arcade is like the one that was used for like, you know, that community space or whatever that comes with Eco Lifestyle, where you have like, there's like different like subgenres of the lot, so you can make it like an artist thing or stuff for like recycling and eco stuff like that. It was on one of those lots, and I noticed that they have those community, what's it called? I don't know, but those like community kind of center things in each area of Evergreen Harbor. You know how like worlds are split up into areas, so it's like there's 3 in Evergreen Harbor, and each one had those buildings. But I was like, why do we need 3 community spaces I don't know if that's gonna like affect the actual gameplay in Eco Lifestyle, but I just bulldozed them except for one. I kept the one, I think it's in Rockridge Springs, which is where the other builds that I did in my last video are located. But yeah, I just kept that one lot as a community space. So there is a community space in Evergreen Harbor, but I just like got rid of the other two because I don't know why we need 3 unless there's like a gameplay reason. But if there is a gameplay reason, my bad. But they're gone. So that's the lot that I built the bowling alley and arcade on, and I really like the way it turned out. I was looking at a lot of like reference photos and stuff like that, especially for the community lots. I did that a lot with the community lots, looking at reference photos, and maybe that's something that I've been needing to do for like inspiration and motivation to build, because I've felt it like kind of go down recently. But ever since I've started building in Evergreen Harbor, I've noticed that I've started looking for like reference pictures a lot more, and I think that's helped me create spaces that feel a little bit more realistic, but also just, I don't know, the vibes just feel a lot better. So yeah, I really love the way that the bowling alley ended up turning out. It's kind of like, I was trying to go for retro vibes. Like they haven't really updated a lot since it was like first built. I think maybe like in the 80s or something. So yeah, I don't know. I just like the way it turned out. It's like the first floor of that lot is the bowling alley and like an eating area. And then there's like a room off to the side for like parties and stuff like that, because I feel like places that are recreation centers like that, especially like kid friendly ones, usually have a like designated party room that you can rent out. So I put that on the first floor along with like the bathrooms, and then downstairs in the basement I put the arcade area. And yeah, I really love the way that turned out. So I'll probably do a tour video. I'll do a tour video for all these builds I'm talking about, like the gas station and diner, the bar, the bowling alley and arcade, and then the other community lot that I did was a gym. And I also like the way that turned out, because again, I used reference pictures for the kind of vibes that I wanted. And it wasn't like just one picture that I used for these builds. Like I took a look at like a bunch of different kind of inspiration photos, and then I built it off of that. I just like took things that I liked from each thing, basically from each reference. But yeah, I really love the way that gym turned out, because it just feels like a really old gym that some guy like built back in the like 70s or 80s and then barely kind of upgraded over time. And so it just feels like an old town gym, you know? I just like the way it feels. I like the way a lot of the community lots that I ended up building for Evergreen Harbor ended up feeling. But yeah, I think that's thanks to the reference pictures and feeling a bit more inspired for like a sleepy town kind of vibe. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can really talk about. I guess like we got 3 new kits recently. There's a like workshop kit or something, and it basically is like a garage kit, but they didn't call it a garage kit because we don't have cars. So it's like a workshop kind of thing. So there's like a fridge and a stove that you have to like fix over time, and like tool bench and like tools to hang up. It's like very much like a garage pack, but they just didn't call it that. And then there's an elders like kit for like clothing. So it's a clothing kit, which I saw someone review in a video, and I'm not really sure what they were doing with that kit because it feels kind of everywhere. Honestly, like the clothing that came in that kit looks like a bunch of different clothes that they had from like previous packs that they just didn't use. And so they put it in there. That's honestly what it feels like. There's a lot of things that in there that look like they were supposed to be in like a throwback fit kit or the Cottage Living kit, or sorry, the Cottage Living pack. And yeah, I don't know. It just looks like a bunch of rejects were piled together and put in that pack, and it doesn't feel cohesive to me. So that's a weird one. And the other one that we got was a kitchen clutter kit, which I know a lot of people are probably going to get because there's a lot of clutter items that I think they did pretty well in that kit. Like they have like a cereal box that's functional, and it has like, it looks kind of messy. There's like messy swatches, so there's like some that has cereal kind of, you know, out of the box, and it's functional, so like if you click on it, your sim can get cereal from it. And then there's a functional cookie jar, which I don't know what any of these things just is not upgraded to base game, but whatever. At least it's functional, I guess. But yeah, they have like some functional items in some of these kits, which I guess is nice. But I just wish that they kind of added that functionality to more base game stuff. Because we have like a base game cookie jar and stuff like that, but whatever. The stuff in it looks pretty good. There's like a kitchen sink that looks like it has some like plates and forks and stuff in it. That's functional, but it didn't come with like an actual kitchen. Like there's no cabinets and there's no counters, which is kind of unfortunate. But it did come with quite a bit of clutter, and some of it is functional. So I know that there's probably a lot of people that are gonna end up getting that kit. I don't know. I don't really like getting kits, to be honest. I like when I get them for free. When they have like, you know, when like The Sims just decides to give stuff for free sometimes. That's when I've gotten most of the kits that I have. It was like usually for like a promotion that EA was doing or whatever. So yeah, I don't really like to buy kits. I have bought some myself. Like I'm pretty sure I bought the Everyday Clutter Kit myself, and I think I got the Industrial Loft Kit myself because I wanted the windows in it. But yeah, I don't really love kits, but it does look like a good kit, especially if you're somebody who wants more kind of lived in areas. I think EA is just like watching what's popular on YouTube and maybe Tumblr and stuff, and so they're like, oh, all these people are doing like realistic grungy kind of, you know, builds, like maybe we should put out stuff like that. And so that's why they're doing these kits, like the workshop kit that has, you know, worn down stuff, and like the bare walls, and the kitchen clutter kit, which has like messy stuff in it. I think that they're seeing that, and like this trend of kind of making more down to earth, realistic, average kind of builds instead of very like colorful, almost like Disney Pixar kind of builds that I think were more popular a couple years ago. I think the Sims community has just kind of gravitated to wanting something that feels more real. Not necessarily like alpha, but just in the way that it's built, and the way that it feels. I think we just want more, you know, nostalgic kind of real feeling stuff. But anyways, I think that's what they've done. I think they've seen stuff on Tumblr and YouTube, and they tried to make kits that cater towards that. And then they just had that random elder fashion kit that's terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but yeah. They also like did an update recently, which I haven't updated my game because I'm always scared for a new update, and I can't live without build by and tool. So I always like kind of wait a little bit unless the game unfortunately forces me to update, which sometimes happens because it'll throw an error code if you like take your game offline enough. I don't know what it is, but if I don't update my game and I keep playing offline so I don't have to update, eventually an error code will come up, and then it forces me to have to update so I can play the game, which is very annoying, and I do think it's intentional. I do think it's intentional because I don't know why else that would happen. But anyways, we did have an update recently, and it looked like most of like the fixes in it were for the businesses and hobbies pack, which I guess makes sense because it's the most recent pack we got. But the game breaking bug of like just things deleting itself in a save, and the weather indoors has still not been fixed, which is super annoying and unfortunate, because we've had those bugs for quite a while now, and it's quite literally game breaking. I feel like if it's taken them this long to fix it, then it's I don't know, I just have a feeling that it's because this game just has way too much content in it at this point because it's gone on too long, and I just don't think it can take it anymore, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I do think that's why these like game breaking bugs are happening. So I don't know how they're gonna fix it, and I don't even know if they can, and that's why it's taken so long. But yeah, those still have to be addressed, so we'll see what happens with that in the future. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about this build and all I have to talk about right now. So I'll probably leave you guys with music. There's only like, what, 10 minutes? There's like 9 minutes left of the video. So yeah, I'll leave you with the rest of the video and the music for the next 9 minutes. And as always, the download link for this build will be in the description. And I will see you guys next time, probably with like some tours of the stuff that I've built and some downloads. So you can look out for that. And I will see you all next time. Bye.